Hi, hi, welcome to Akebe Philip channel. Today we'll be talking about website development, and we cannot just go into designing a website. We have to know what a website is all about, and also the reasons of designing a website. Okay, before you design a website, you should know what a website is all about. A website is a collection of different web pages related to content that is identified by a common domain name. Okay, and published on at least one web server. It must be published on a web server. If a website is built without publishing on a web server, of course, it is not a website. Okay, and today we'll also be looking at the types of a website. Websites are of different types. One, we have the social networking website, where it's a Facebook website, or Instagram, or WhatsApp, or other social networking. We also have the corporate website. Of course, it can be the case of my own company, which is the ALT company. And we have the forum website, which is the case of Nairaland. We have blog, which is the case of Linda Keja. It is also a website. Of course, many people see a blog as a different thing and a website as a different thing. Though both the blog and a website, they are all the same thing. A blog is a website is a blog. The blog is distinct from its functionality as regard to what it does. A blog, of course, can do a specific thing, but a website comprises of a blog in it. Without a blog in a website, it is not a website. Okay, you must have a blog. People can be able to say, "Oh, I have a website," because anything you are actually doing is actually going straight to the blog. Any post you are making is going to that blog. Is that blog that markets your website? Okay, thank you. We have purpose of designing a website. I cannot just design a website without a purpose. You must have a purpose in mind that will make you to design the website. And what is the purpose of your website? The purpose of your website can give you the actual thing you are to design a website. If you are designing a website for a client, ask them, what do you want to use your website for? Okay, if I'm using my website for either shopping, online shopping, and you design a website that section is not in it, then I cannot be able to make use of that website. Okay, I have to design a website that has to do with a shopping plugin. Thank you. So we have the domain name, which is actually the name that your website is identified with. If you don't have a domain name, what then would the user type in his browser in order to access your website? Okay, because if you go to Google now, I have to search for something in order to get something. Just for instance, you have a house, you don't have a fan, you do not expect a breeze, or do not expect air rather to to cool down the building if at all the room is actually hot. So you must have a fan, you must have bulbs in order to see light, in order to drive away darkness in the room. Okay, so that is the work of a domain name. It is actually the name that one can type in a browser, in the URL that takes him to that website. URL is what navigates you, what maps a client to the website. Okay, so we have the hosting. After designing a website, you have to host the website in a way that any other person can access the website via net. If you don't host your website, it cannot be accessible. You have to host your website. We have the concentration, or the security of that website. If you design a website, it must have a security. More has a security. If it doesn't have a security, it is vulnerable to attack. Hackers can penetrate and can do anything they want to do. In fact, they can even take priority of your. They can even snatch your website from you and do other things with it. So you must have a security attached to your website that if hackers are coming in, they cannot easily penetrate. And it is actually very easy to have a security attached to your website. What are you going to do to get this security? All you need to do when you are buying your domain name, you go to SSL to also buy a security that will secure your website. All you need to do, you don't really need to start stressing yourself, oh, let me write codes that will actually secure the website. Once you buy the SSL, the company which provide the domain name for you is going to secure your website using an algorithm in their company. Your work is to just pay them the money and they do the work for you. Computer technology has made everything so easy these days. Okay, so what are the steps in designing a website, which is what I mentioned. Okay, so you go to your company, the company you want to buy the domain name, which it can be either be Namecheap. But I prefer you go to Namecheap. You can either go to Google or other company that sells what domain name. You search the kind of domain name you want to use. If the domain name is actually available in that company, of course you get it. But if not, it's not available, then you have to look for an available domain name. It mustn't be exactly your name that you want it to appear in our website. Okay, so you can proceed and add the domain name to cart. When you add the domain name to cart, of course, you can go to share hosting. Okay, and host your website. And a website has three login details. One, which is the hosting. Okay, you must have a login detail on the hosting. In the hosting, while you are hosting your website, you have to choose the kind of login details you want to use. Of course, you must see image. You also put your password. When you go to your cPanel, at the cPanel, when you are done with the hosting, it takes you to your cPanel. At the cPanel, you go and change your password in which they will send you, because the password they send you actually complicated. It's not something you can remember at a platter of gold, And you also have a website security login where user can log in. If you want to log in your website, of course, you can also make the admin on the screen or in the interface of your website. Thank you, and we'll continue from here in the next tutorial. God bless you all. Thank you.